You're listening to From the Horse's Mouth, intrepid conversations with Phil Fersht. Ready to meet the disruptors who are guiding us to the new great utopia by reshaping our world and pushing past corporate spin for honest conversations about the future impact of current and emerging technologies? Tune in now.
Greetings and welcome to the latest edition of From the Horse's Mouth podcast. I'm your host, Phil Fersht, and joining me today is a legend of the services industry, Manish Sharma, who I've personally known for about 15 odd years from his various roles in Accenture. And he was recently given this role of Chief Services Officer, running an integrated portfolio of all Accenture services offerings at a time where an industry is going through profound change. So welcome, Manish. It's great to have you back. And it would be great to hear a bit about maybe what's changed in your life in the last 6 months or so.
So I think, first of all, Phil, thanks for having me here. I think I've known you for more than a decade, and it's always fun to meet with you, right? And let me kind of set the stage on this fun. AI is really powering all the professional services. And I think if I were to just explain that part, AI is just the enabling tool. To achieve value is really complex. And the reality, however, is that most companies are not yet ready to take advantage at the scale of the power of AI because they have not yet created a modern digital core. Their data is not accessible. Their processes are not ready. And using AI requires them to radically change the ways they work to capture the huge value, which is the promise of AI. And I think we are, and I'm so confident about the fact that only company in the world that can actually deliver the big reinventions our clients need. That's why companies call Accenture. And with this kind of a backdrop, right, if I just look at the service model, I think it is evolving. And client need us more than ever before. I think the Gen AI revolution kind of has democratized the access to powerful tools, but it has also multiplied the complexity of using them effectively, safely, and at scale. Accenture helps clients with that complexity. And I'll give you some examples, right? And if you just consider the following, AI is no longer a tool. It's an enterprise-wide transformation. I think Gen AI impacts the strategy, structure, skills, not just technology. It cuts across functions, whether from marketing to legal to R&D to finance. And I think success requires end-to-end orchestration, business strategy, technology integration, the change management. And that's where I will say that we have over 80,000 trained professionals who come in. Accenture brings multidisciplinary cross-industry expertise to architect and execute that transformation. Our business is actually about making it work in complex enterprises. That's what we do across more than 1,100 projects today. I want to give an example of a client, Air France KLM. I think working with Google Cloud, we built a Gen AI factory, a cloud-based platform that gives teams across the airline access to shared tools, proven models, a clear process from moving from idea to deployment. With this foundation, they can now develop and scale AI solutions in areas like ground operations, aircraft maintenance, and customer service. Second, I think off-the-shelf models don't solve enterprise problems. I think public LLMs aren't designed for industry context, regulatory frameworks, or enterprise-grade security, and all three are really important. A true value comes from fine-tuned models, whether it is the private data pipelines, the agentic architectures integrated into core systems and building data backbone. I think Accenture, what it does is it builds secure, domain-specific AI solutions aligned to enterprise needs at scale. And that's the difference, what I call, between trying AI and scaling AI.
Right.
You need a partner who has been there before.
So, how do you see AI changing the balance between human talent and machine intelligence? And what does that mean for companies? How do they transform the work and what tools are necessary?
So I think if I look at that piece, right, I think AI is not replacing people. It is actually replacing tasks or part of tasks and processes, allowing organizations to create new opportunities for people. I think employment declines are concentrated in occupations where AI is kind of more likely to automate rather than augment human labor. Means when I go into our centers and I look across our people, right, our people are doing new, more creative and innovative work for clients as a result of AI. We have taken what we have learned from thousands of projects and from our own reinvention and built a solution that brings people, AI agents, and technology together. So clients can kind of move beyond pilots to real results faster and with greater certainty. One thing which is there is, I will also say that we'll be launching a solutions that will also help with some of the stuff around these changes, Fed.
So, do you see in this end, like Accenture building AI platforms of its own, or is the future more about stitching ecosystems together?
I think it will be a mix of both as we go into this. It will be a mix of both. We are building a lot of stuff. I think you would have seen the AI refinery and some of the pieces that we have done. I will say that we will also stitching. So you have seen the trusted agent hurdle, which is, I think, a fantastic thing where we bring our own stuff as well as our clients' ecosystems stuff from there together. So I think it will be a stitch of both of them getting the best of the breed across the patch.
Right, right. So how do you balance that kind of a need for speed with AI? Because we see the pressure coming on enterprises from their boards and their C-suite. There's this real urgency with the concerns around trust, risk, and accountability.
See, I think you will have to go to the basics, right? Because I think I mentioned at the start that you have to be, first of all, having your data ready. You have to have your digital core ready. You have to have your people ready, the talent orchestration. And I think we will need to kind of get that piece going. Because if you don't really pull all of this together in the right way, you will not have, I think, creation of enterprise value. And I think that's a really important one.
So let's think a bit about talent. And, I know you guys talk about change a lot. Let there be change, right? So if AI is automating a lot of the entry level work that we're bringing into play here, how should firms like Accenture keep investing in your next generation of talent? Do you still need to hire tens of thousands of graduates every year, Manish?
I personally believe, right, when we look at this, we need the entry level talent because what it does is, I think it brings together a really new person who is fresh from college and gets access from all the latest expertise, and they are able to weave a lot of, I will say, outcomes. They're able to weave in a lot of process industry all together, which it is available, and stitch a solution for the clients. So I personally believe that the entry level is a must. We will continue to hire, I will say, important work which will be done by the entry level folks. If you really look at it also, with MBA in the early, in the career hires, we're looking for people who have demonstrated an entrepreneurial mindset, like those who were involved in a startup or contributed to open source, as well as AI literacy. And I think in addition, business skills like communication, collaboration are also important than ever before. I'll also say this, a significant advantage in our ambition is to double our AI and data workforce from 40,000 to 80,000 by the end of FY26.
Right.
I think it really to tap into our own people who have mapped thousands of them into high skill, high demand, new roles, right? Making progress on our overall goal with 72,000 data and AI practitioners in our workforce to date. If somebody is a good learner, I think they will really flourish in this environment.
Right, right. So what skills should universities and governments be prioritizing for the next decade of work?
I would say that they should be really prioritizing some of the basic stuff. But I think the real key thing would be if they can really pull together some process skills, the technology skills, having a very continuous education program, and a huge amount of curiosity if they can inculcate in their programs. I think that will be the most, important thing about this.
Right, right, right. So when you say curiosity, you mean finding ways to make people curious, to keep learning new things, to broaden roles, have more sort of almost the ability to deal with ambiguity. Is that what you're thinking? Or
I will say if people are looking for some jobs in which they are just going to do the same thing forever, I think this will be a very tough one.
yeah,
What they will have to interpret is to put different situations, different scenarios, and get the younger folks to really learn through those items, because that will be the real key, I would say, a differentiator for anybody who wants to be successful. Learning, curiosity, dealing with ambiguity, actually unlearning and relearning again and again because things are changing so fast and so rapidly. I think that will be the key thing.
yeah. We talk a lot about young professionals, right? Because they don't have a preset way of doing things. And you mentioned people who just want to do the same thing every day for the rest of their careers. What's your advice for the mid-career professional, who's maybe threatened by this? They have a bit of disillusionment. What's your advice to them to further their ambitions and careers in this environment?
Well, let me first start by saying that this is the way which I'm really excited about. I'm registered for a PhD program because I'm trying to get myself also to learn, right?
Mm.
Now, when we kind of go out of this, 2 out of the 3 organizations we survey, very strongly agree that Gen AI will make work more meaningful and fulfilling. And employees agree. 95% are excited to work with Gen AI. However, I think despite the enthusiasm, the workers do not trust organizations to ensure positive outcomes for everyone. And that caution is warranted. 3 in 4 organizations have not designed AI transformation to be human-centric. So, got to focus on training. 200,000 of our people have completed approximately 2 million hours of training to accelerate technology delivery with Gen AI. So, making sure that we are human-centric, we remind people that reskilling is critical, but so is the focusing on the whole person. And here's how we look at it, right? We provide market-leading skills and provide experiences that will unlock people's full potential.
Yeah. So what excites you, Manish, most personally about the next decade of IT business services, and what keeps you awake at night?
I am excited about agentic AI. That's the headline, right? I think advancements in digitizing the knowledge, new AI models, the agentic AI systems and architecture, I think all enable enterprises to create their own unique, cognitive brains. And that's kind of spectacular, right? This is the future we are heading towards. AI that doesn't just respond, but learns, improves, and works as a part of team. AI agents working together on big picture goals versus incremental prompts. And what keeps me at night? I think I will say, how do we help our clients truly transform end to end? How we help the street get excited about what we do, and how we continually grow and hire the best talent.
Sorry. So you've been around a bit in this industry, Manish, and a lot of people talk fondly about you, especially when your days building out the old BPO and operations businesses. So what do you want to be your legacy in this role when you look back on this big challenge that you're driving right now, how would you want people to remember you?
I think you know me, Phil, for decades,
Yeah.
right? I'm not interested in my own legacy, honestly. I am really, really interested in Accenture's legacy. What I really want to help clients is steward their resources exceedingly well so that they know Accenture has contributed to their success. And that will come from helping clients transform with AI. As I said, we are the only company in the world that can deliver the big reinventions our clients need. So I think that is really, really keen to have Accenture's legacy cemented in that.
Right. When you say you're the only company in the world who can do this, what is the key secret sauce that you feel is the differentiator between you guys and everybody else?
Thanks for asking that question, right? How many companies in the world have deep industry expertise, deep for decades? How many of the companies in the world have a massive technology strength? And this is, I'm talking about like doing, it's massive, right? You're talking about all the systems integration work and the AMS and the IMS stuff. How many companies in the world do have the ability to have a large, and I think the world's largest operations business? How many of the companies have strong, which is building your front end and have an ability to help clients grow their revenue? How many companies in the world can actually have a massive presence in industry X across procurement, supply chain, digital manufacturing, physical AI? I can't think of any company other than Accenture at the scale that we operate and ability to piece it together to deliver large reinventions, delivering tangible, sustained business outcomes. That is, and when I'm saying this, I'm also trying to think of once again, Phil, right? But there is nobody on this planet who can actually do this. One of my strongest belief in terms of just the presence across the globe and having all the services, the biggest data and AI practice in the world, assets like Synops, GenWizard, Song. It is incredible, right? We have plenty of examples to kind of say that, right? Means, when we talk about a client example like NetWest, it's a 5-year collaboration involving our ecosystem partner AWS to transform the way its customers are accelerating the modernization of its digital data and analytics and the AI capability. Look at them when they had the complexity of the choice. Do you use OpenAI, Anthropic, Mistral, Meta, or build your own model? Which orchestration layer fits your stack? Azure, Amazon Bedrock, or customer agents? How do you integrate AI into legacy SAP, Oracle, ServiceNow environments?
Right.
Accenture helps clients navigate, integrate, future-proof this complex and evolving ecosystem. I can go on with examples after example. If I look at Telstra, Australia's leading telco, we are partnering to create a new joint venture to accelerate Telstra's data and AI roadmap. Together, we will actually reinvent the business processes through new capabilities like agentic AI, enabling teams to kind of work with intelligent AI ecosystems and kind of to optimize all their key tasks end to end. And this joint venture will also help build specialized AI tools to support teams to work smarter and faster. Now tell me, like with this just two examples, who else on this planet can actually do this?
Well, I think you've got the ability to bring together, as you've done in years, you've got the consulting, the strategy, and the delivery, but you're also very steeped in the business process as well as the technology. And a lot of your competitors are obsessed with just tech. And the decisions are being made jointly between the business side and the tech side right now. And when we look at emerging tech like vibe coding, that gets me very excited because you're actually redesigning the role of the developer and you're really bringing the business context into the equation, because you can't just bolts these technologies onto existing process. You have to completely rethink work and rethink the ways you do things. And you guys bring it all to the table. You did it with cloud, you did it with digital, and now with seeing I personally think this is the biggest challenge of our industry that it's ever faced. And you've been given probably one of the most challenging roles to make it happen and stuff like that. Are you enjoying it? Is this what you want to be doing?
This is my 31st year in the firm.
Wow.
People always ask that, how come you're such a long time? Because I think this is the only firm where I'm still learning after 31 years, doing new things. I think, and this is a firm which allows one to take a lot of risks. You can be an entrepreneur here in Accenture within a large company. And this is what I have enjoyed. And, when I look at this job, I think AI requires a new operating model. It's not just about using AI. It's about redefining how work gets done, how decisions are made, how teams are structured, how performance is measured. Can you imagine, in 31 years, like I'm back to learning and figuring it out, right? Where else can I get this opportunity, Ben?
We're not the only one. I feel like I'm doing it myself, to be honest with you. It's changing my industry more than ever. I'm in the information business, so.
You're a partner, Phil. You're my partner, right? So we will, you are a part of this whole journey. So I think we have been part with you since you started, and I think we will absolutely be taking your coaching and some of the insights that you have had.
It's good. Well, I personally believe when we went through the advent of the internet, the reason why this was so fundamentally transformational was because it impacted society, us personally, as well as business. And then you get a lot of technologies where people are buying a platform like Workday or Salesforce or something like that, which is fairly routine. But now we're going back to the next wave of technology that's truly changing us as human beings and the society that we live in and the way we do things on a day-to-day basis. And that's why it becomes truly transformational. And, when we look back at the change the internet brought, I feel this is the new wave. And when we come out the other side of this, our lives are going to be more enriched. We're going to do our jobs so much more efficiently and so much more intelligently. And then the human aspect will really dig in, which is engaging with other people, meeting your clients and your colleagues and your friends and all these sorts of things. So I think we're getting to that point. I feel that we've developed a lot in the last year from where we were, and I'm excited.
I will leave you with one more fact, right? Skills often follow the progress of technology. And if you look at some of the economists' estimation, 60% of today's titles did not exist in 1940s and 50s. We will see new jobs in the future. And that is, exciting. A prompt engineer used to be a standalone skill, but no longer. With agentic AI, you now have new skills such as agent architect. So I think, AI is like creating a widespread disruption field that you and I have not seen, and new talent needs, right? Because I think that is where we are going to be having reinvention deployed engineers doing all the reinvention for the big enterprises. This is going to be, I think personally, the most exciting time that we have actually seen.
Yes, I'm completely with you. And on that note, I'll thank you very much for your time.
Take care, Phil. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to From the Horse's Mouth, intrepid conversations with Phil Fersht. Remember to follow Phil on LinkedIn and subscribe and like on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite platform for no-nonsense takes on the intricate dance between technology, business, and ideological systems. Got something to add to the discussion? Let's have it. Drop us a line at fromthehorsesmouth@hfsresearch.com or connect with Phil on LinkedIn.